Hey there, and welcome to the weeblounge. I am Nick, and this is going to be the very first event that you guys on Global are going to experience. It is Hatsune's Present. And like with any of these events that are going to be coming up, they're a good place to get jewels, a good place to get memory fragments, and a good place to get your behind whooped if you're not ready. Now, this might be the first event, but you're going to learn very quickly that most all of these events in Princess Connect are going to follow the exact same formula. A little bit of tweaks here and there, but for the most part, they're pretty much the same. So once you start getting through, once you do this first event, you're going to know the basics on how every single one of these events go. Now, at the very start, let's go back to the little start screen here. You're just going to have a little menu. One of them is the event quest. Another one is the event story. Now, most of these events do have some story arc to it. And the further you get into the event, when you defeat some of the bosses, story arcs open up. You get some more free jewels out of that and a fun little story to go with it. Now, one of the best things about this are the lotteries. The lotteries give you a chance to get a whole bunch of gear, a whole bunch of amulets, some jewels typically, and memory fragments. And every event is generally going to have at least 2 characters that you can collect memory fragments from. In this one, you're going to be able to get ones for Hatsune, and you're going to be able to get them for Shiori. Those are the 2 characters you're going to be able to stock up on. And via the lottery, I think you're going to be able to get like 35 Shioris or 55 Hatsune, something along those lines, plus what you can get in the hard modes. Let's go ahead and get into the event quest here. Now, on the normal side, you're going to have 15 quests. Now, for the most part, the difficulty of these is not very high. You don't need any kind of special strategy or anything going into these. Just take a standard high-end group and you'll get through it just fine. There's really nothing to worry about here. Now, I do recommend for the first event that you have a good number of characters, or at least a really good core group at rank 7 maxed out the best that you can. That's going to make life easy. If you do that, these 15 normal modes, you're going to plow right through them. And the hard modes, you're going to get through those just as easy. Now, the hard modes in events typically aren't all that hard, okay? Now, early on in Global, they could pose a little bit of a difficulty. So the more characters you have available at higher ranks, you're going to be able to tweak a little bit, and you're going to be able to get through the event. It's nothing to really give you a strategy about, because all these fights, they're just typical hard mode fights, and you'll get through them just fine with a little bit of trial and error. Chances are, you're not even going to need the trial and error. You're going to be able to plow through them. But the good thing about these is every single one of these, you can do these every day 5 times, each one of these. Now, when you compare the drop rates to the hard modes in the general storyline to the hard modes in the events, the hard mode in the event, the drop rate is a little bit lower. It's going to be harder to get them from here. But in a lot of these events, it's hard to get some memory fragments because, you know, where do you get Hatsune fragments from, right? Right now you get them from one of the shops. They don't drop in the normal mode, but here, while the event is live, you can get yourself some extras. Same thing goes with Shiori, a little bit more extras. I mean, you can get her in the normal hard modes. Normal hard modes. But here, you can get some extras. Now, the hard modes, not terribly worried about it, but once you start getting through these, you're going to have a boss to fight. All right? And that boss to fight is Ziz. Ziz, yeah. All right. You can go to him from there, or you can go to him from here. Now, I've already killed this thing, and I can't go in and do it again. So it's not going to let me. So with that said, here's a picture. Over there, right here. All right. Basically, it's a big vulture looking thing that has wings that looks like a phoenix, and its name is Ziz. Z-I-Z. Ziz. Okay. Here's the basic strategy for this guy. Now I'm going to go ahead and just like load up one of these. And I'm going to go through the characters. All right. And I probably should have left that because that was one of the group makeups. Now, it's going to really depend what you get, because one of Ziz's attacks does a stun on the front 2 characters in your group. All right. So generally, you're going to want to start the group off with 2 tanks. And of course, the 2 best tanks to go in there with are going to be Jun and Nozomi. Those are going to be your best 2 or whatever. If you don't have one or both of these, You can go ahead and do Miyako, and you can even throw in Pecorine as long as you got her upgraded pretty well, right? So I do recommend at least a 2-star Pecorine if you're going to throw her in there. Now, you don't necessarily need 2 tanks, though, as long as you have another character, a DPS, a frontline DPS that's maybe a little beefy or a little strong, right? And surprisingly, Kaori can take that role. And that's Swimsuit Kaori. That's not that Kaori. Where's my other Kaori? Well, you know what? Kaori, regular Kaori. You can actually put her there, and instead of June, maybe throw in Miyako. But, you know, take like the little picture I had up there. You can kind of just go with that group. Now, do you need heals? Absolutely, I would highly recommend it, and I would probably go with Chica for the most part. Chica or Yui, either one of them will work, but Chica, you know, Chica starts at 2nd star level, will heal a little bit more. Yui 1 star, not so much. But if you've raised those star levels up a little bit, either one of those healers would be perfectly fine. And the other ones that you throw in, physical DPS. Now, for whatever reason, it seems physical DPS works a little bit better on this character. Magic DPS, not so much. And considering that most of the characters that we have right now this early are going to be physical DPS oriented, well, it kind of makes sense, right? Now, of course, you got Makoto. Okay, Makoto is going to be just some crazy good DPS. And, of course, you got Akino as well. Akino will do really, really good in there. And surprisingly, like, Shinobu would do okay as well. But you don't necessarily need yet another DPS, you know. You could actually, like, say, take that out, put Yukari in, and then maybe, you know, slap Yui in, and there's a group there, you're good to go. But, you know, what if you don't have Makoto? Well, that Kaori, you know, she would actually do pretty good. Let's see. Eriko you can actually use. Shinobu you can actually use. Any DPS, physical, frontline DPS that you have to slap in there is all good. Just keep in mind that the front 2 characters are going to take stuns. And these stuns last for like 4 seconds. It's not light. And the other thing that you need to learn to really, really boost up is your hit points for the ultimate, okay? This guy does an ultimate, it is AoE. Think very hard mode boss in the dungeon, okay? He does an AoE damage to everybody that hurts. All right, now it is physical damage, so as long as you have a little something with physical damage, you can probably slap something up, you'd be all good. But yeah, that's pretty much the basic gist of that. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and mention it down below. I really wish I could do these fights for you, but since they're actually past events, and right now I'm actually doing this little video through a side quest on the JP server, but any information is good information, right? So what you want to do, get through here, kill the get through here. As you do normal and hard mode bosses, you get boss tickets. You use those boss tickets to kill the boss using one of the formations that I gave you, or tweak it a bit however you need depending on your characters that you have. When you kill the boss, you get medals. Those medals you use on a lottery. And very simple, what the lottery is: a whole bunch of goodies, memory fragments, amulets, jewels, a whole bunch of stuff in those. What you want to do with the lottery is buy it out 4 times at least. A lot of times when you do the lottery, you pull it, it'll give you like the big prize out of the lottery, and it'll ask you if you want to reset. Do not reset. Buy out the first 4 lotteries completely. After that, you do whatever it is that you want to do. If you still need memory fragments, you can get a couple extras if you keep going. It's not necessarily worth as much pushing past that 4th box, but if you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't, and that is completely up to you. We'll see you in the next video.